What's good, everybody? We are live for yet another episode of Rip and the Silverback. Of course, back on our channel here. We were on As channel. If you don't know, we do alternate every single week from my channel to As, and this has become a wonderful, wonderful time throughout the week. One of my favorite bits because we get to shoot shit, talk about everything that's going on, and usually we have some good stuff to discuss because, well, we go a week before we get to chat again, right? So we have a bunch of stuff that we are going to talk about. But before I get going, of course, my co-host, Az, joining me. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Yeah, how are you doing? Things going pretty well in the land of the rippaverse right now?
Yeah, just a little bit. And segueing into that, if you don't mind, as I share the old screen here, we are at $1.25 million, 8888 total purchasers. Oddly enough, thank you guys so much for that continued support as we are a week and a couple of days in of this wonderful Yaira book, which is going to be. Look, I've said this before. This is what I'm promising you. Will it more than likely fulfill much earlier than that? Yes, but you know, with all that we have going with the website stuff and a lot of the changes that we're going to be having going into May, we wanted to make sure that we committed to something that we for sure could deliver on. But more than likely, we're going to push to have that be much earlier. So I can't wait for you to get the book in hand. I appreciate you all the support. We still got some CGCs, the ones that got added that the Saska said, yeah, we'll stay another day and grab those. I'll get those updated numbers soon enough. But the represent everything. We've been doing some videos over at the Rippaverse YouTube, kind of going into some information with the Rippaverse magazine and all that. So be sure to check that out if you have not already. And I appreciate that continued support. Okay. With all that being said, we had not too long ago Star Wars giving it another shot. We knew this was the one project that is going to be, I don't know if there's anything else coming out this year for them, but
the
we know
Acolyte.
that outside of the Acolyte, and we got our first look at what the actual deal is going to look like. As of course you're more tapped in than I am with Star Wars and the direction that they're going in. Where do you think this puts them? Enthusiasm up, enthusiasm down?
I believe that the Acolyte trailer is just about to be ratioed on their main website, on their main YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's already ratioed everywhere else. The trailer, I think, speaks volumes about Star Wars, current Star Wars. This isn't a product made for men. This isn't a product made for boys. I don't even think it's a product made for girls, personally, but that is definitely the intended marketplace is females. Once again, we see a Kathleen Kennedy self-insert with Carrie-Anne Moss this time, acting as the one. Notice how her inserts are systematically getting closer and closer to Kathy's actual age. And to me, I thought the trailer looked just absolutely. I could not see how on earth anyone could be interested in this drivel. It just looked like drivel. Okay. Was it offensive to a degree? No, but it didn't have to be offensive to a degree. It just had to show me exactly what your intention was. Your intention was clearly to push your feminine narrative, destroy the Star Wars brand for boys. You've done that well. Congratulations. That's why you've lost the vast majority of your audience. And the trailer is very clear. No white men allowed as well. And when you just see these very obvious tropes, which are now coming into these vile companies, I'm quite happy to say definitely not for me. And good luck. I mean, you'll need it because you'll fail miserably. But nah.
So would you, again, like you talk about how It wasn't necessarily offensive, but it's not inspiring, I guess. It's a wash. And I think, look,
Looks like a kid's. It literally looks like a Disney product for girls.
yeah,
That's what it looks like. It doesn't
So-
look like anything else.
and again, that's I think the context that matters here, because with Star Wars, I mean, I think Marvel's in a very similar spot, but with Star Wars especially, they do need that jolt. And just overall enthusiasm, morale, maybe. So yeah, it'd be one thing. I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I did see a little bit of, I think that if company's doing well, right, everything's gravy. You had a few bangers as of recent. I think people would look at it differently, right? They would look at it, and like, again, maybe it's not the greatest thing of all time. Does it have to be, right? But when you're trying to inject that, again, jolt into the morale of the, not just the company, but just general enthusiasm with your customer base, you got to come out swinging at this stage, right? If not for the duds, you kind of got to come out. You got to come out swinging. So if you put out something that's rather uninspiring when you're trying to sell because this is something Disney Plus, right? So you're trying to sell people on, I guess, getting a subscription to then watch this, right? So that's a tall order, right? That's a tall order. And I think that's what makes this so interesting to me. It's like, you need that jolt, and by all accounts, you didn't get it. And I think it does speak to where Star Wars is right now. And maybe this is something that could be attributed to the rest of the industry, entertainment industry altogether, because really we're seeing a lot of similar things happen with a lot of mainstream big brands. So I empathize with it, that, yeah, it's not offensive, but at that point, it's like understanding where Star Wars is right now. You got to come out swinging.
Ahsoka failed miserably.
Yeah, that's the context, right?
It failed miserably with known characters to the Star Wars brand, Ahsoka, Rebels, but it failed miserably. Its viewing figures were absolute garbage, and that was shown off. So you think that Ahsoka brought any new members into subscribers to Disney Plus? No,
Right.
We've talked about this before. It's just a money pit. It's billions, losing billions. And this was a thing that's meant to turn a profit this year, according to Bob Iger. Is no way. The only way this thing turns a profit is you start fudging the numbers in the other direction and start moving the numbers from the movie section over into your Disney Plus section to try and bolster them. But then you got to report on that being a freaking miserable failure. But it's already a miserable failure, so you can't transfer that money over because it's just losing and losing and losing. So how on earth is the Acolyte in any capacity meant to do anything? What's the marketing for the Acolyte? The woman, the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein that fed him women to rape, going in front of the camera going, "Oh, this is my..." You're right, mate. You're right. You go down the wrong hole. Run down the wrong hole. Okay. Going up on the camera and going, "Oh yeah, queer representation. When I was growing up, I just wanted to see queer. I'm queer, by the way. Did you know that I'm queer? I'm queer. I'm doing Star Wars and I'm putting it into the lens of queer." That's your marketing. Congratulations. You just turned nobody onto your product whatsoever, and most likely turned most people off because they were like, oh, okay, thank you for that. I think I'll pass. This is not what people want to hear when they hear people talking about their product. Clearly hasn't got a fucking clue about Star Wars in the slightest. This is just more narcissistic, in fuckery when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy and a cabal of feminazis that she's accrued over the years. So by time Kathleen Kennedy steps aside, just some other feminazi will take over to make sure that the rot's already set in. We know that the rot's in with Iger, and we know that George Lucas is all, pro-rot. So what has somebody who's remotely interested in Star Wars got to be excited for with this? Fucking nothing.
That's the key. I think again, that's the key, and that is the context of what we're discussing or what should be discussed when looking at Star Wars right now. All of what you mentioned, I think the previous work is very important to bring up as well, and that has been uninspiring. That has been I can't even call it mixed. I mean, at least with like something like an Ahsoka or even the Obi-Wan stuff, it's not generating enthusiasm at all. You know, at all. So you have a few duds, and everybody's old that, right? You can get not everything is going to land with everybody, but after you lay several eggs, and then you have to try to right the ship, and then you put this thing out. And like I said, it's not necessarily that, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. That's not, I don't think that's the argument. It's more of, well, this is still very, very uninspiring, right? So it's in the vein of what you've maybe released recently. And I don't know how you feel about this, because we have, of course, Leslie Hetland saying that the show itself is, which whatever this means, is Frozen meets Kill Bill. And I was trying to conceptualize that, right?
I couldn't.
No, it's like being dead serious. Trying to conceptualize that. I'm like, what does that look like? I guess we're gonna find out.
Have you heard her Frozen comments?
No.
Right. The reason why she's so into Frozen is because she said that the film focused on a relationship between two sisters.
That I heard. Yeah, I did see that.
So in her eyes, she was like, "Oh, this is great. I'm seeing a story that isn't based around heterosexuality, a man and a woman fall in love. I can relate to this because I'm a queer person. Did I tell you that I'm queer? Yes, my whole life revolves around my queerness and my queer identity, and I want to shoehorn it into every queer thing that I do, which is queer. And so that's the reason why she was into Frozen. Kill Bill."
Gotcha.
Oh, shut your fucking trap, woman. It's so interesting that nowadays we keep getting people with no talent talking about references when it comes to what their product is. Oh, my product is it's going to be like Breaking Bad. Remember when we heard the Breaking Bad reference about season 2 of some fucking Star Wars shit? Or so this is going to be the Breaking Bad of. No, how about this is going to be my show?
Yeah.
If you're always saying, "Oh, this is like Frozen meets Kill Bill," all right, okay. Well, number one, this is never going to come anywhere close to what Frozen was, which I believe was exceedingly popular. And number two, this is not even going to come anywhere close to what Kill Bill was, which was exceedingly popular. You've just referenced two things which are vastly superior to this dog shit which you're about to put out, and in no way, shape, or form, in any way, will somebody watch this and go, "Oh yeah, I can see where she's coming from here." It's just stupid. Stop trying to make the only reason why they can make comparisons is because they have nothing themselves of interest to put in. You know, oh, what would you say this Star Wars is like? Well, this Star Wars is like nothing you've ever seen before. That's what it's like. We are seeing Jedi and Sith interacting in ways that you've never envisioned or never seen on screen. Maybe some little quarters of the extended universe you might have had a little sniff or a hint. But that's how you fucking market your product. What's your product like? Well, it's like a real dog shit Kill Bill and just lesbians.
Yeah.
It's just they got no clue.
And again, that's the issue, man. And it's interesting to see this whole ordeal play out, right? And I think that's the part that I think a lot of people are going to lose sight of. Normies, diehards, you've lost them. None of them are really truly interested. They may give it a chance. Some people may give it a chance because, of course, it has Star Wars attached to it. But ultimately speaking, any like general favor that you have with the audience, would you agree, is pretty much gone for Star Wars? There's no like, I'm really stoked on the next project. Well,
I don't like being called a Nazi or a white supremacist or a misogynist or a racist or whatever I'm being called because you made a shit product.
Yeah,
and reflective in the amount of money that you bring in at the box office.
Yeah.
You know, so this isn't a divisive thing in terms of, well, it's doing exceedingly well at the box office. And so these vocal, horrible, poopy pants, racist, white supreme, sorry, do I have a swastika or anything like, hanging around here? Did I say, oh, sorry, Eric, can't do today's show. Got my fucking monthly KKK meeting, that I got to attend. Hood's in the wash. That's why I'm just like this right now. Got to, whack in on a bit late. It's just such a dumb comparison. Stop calling your customers this, that, and the other and start taking some responsibility for your shite.
Right.
Regardless of whether or not you support or believe in The Last Jedi as a company and the direction in which Rian Johnson took it, you can't deny the fact that it fucking split asunder the customer base. You can't deny that in the slightest.
Yeah.
So what you should be doing is reflecting on what you made the mistakes that made it so divisive. Oh, and then you just have to listen to anything Rian Johnson said and you'd be like, oh, shit, yeah. We kind of made a really horrendous decision picking a director that loves to piss people off, piss half his audience off. A director that took all the threads that we sowed in the first film, liked them or disliked them, and just shat all over them. So he creates some absolute piece of dog shit, which ended in a full stop. Where did you go? Where'd you go from the end of that film, apart from nowhere? And so you had to have the next film come in, try to correct by bringing in another guy that didn't know what the fuck he was doing either with Jar Jar. So you're trying to get Jar Jar to correct the second film, which wanted to ultra correct the first film. It just looked like a massive pissing match between directors as opposed to something that was anyway, shape or form planned out, which it wasn't, or directed at Star Wars fans, which it wasn't.
Yeah. I just don't know where this company goes. I guess I get intrigued by that as well as Marvel, right? It's the same kind of concept overall. It's like, okay, well, you lay a couple of duds. Normies have, are if they haven't moved on completely, they've started to move on to something else. Who knows what'll be the next thing that they find more interesting. And then you don't have the diehards. Those guys have said, yeah, I'm not really into this anymore. And you've made it abundantly clear that you're not the type of person, or we're not the type of people that you want to appeal to. Okay, so what are you left with? An audience that doesn't exist, and one can make the argument that that's who they've been attempting to appeal to, right? That's maybe all of entertainment right now. Most of it is this whole modern audience. They're chasing their own fucking tail, it feels like, and they don't really know what it is that they're looking for, or what it is that let's say that they know that, but maybe they're under a wrongful impression that audience is a lot bigger than what it is they are, right? So I think the inability to turn this shit around is what I think is most interesting, because where's the light at the end of the tunnel for Star Wars? Fuck Disney, right? Like for Star Wars, for that brand in itself, I feel like I'm having deja vu because we were talking about this with Marvel. Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Like, what is it? It's not going to be this. Even if
it's an oncoming train, that's what the light at the end of the tunnel. It's an oncoming train to fucking run them over.
So it's the headlights of the train is what you're seeing. That's
the light at the end of the tunnel that they think they're seeing. All right, here it comes. Oh fuck, it's a train, and it hit them 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
5.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I mean, I watched your video on the actor formerly known as Ellen Page.
Oh yeah.
And just the nonsense that they're spouting. There is not an audience. There is a minuscule audience, and if you want to target that audience, you do you. That's your prerogative to do.
Absolutely.
But when you target a minuscule audience, guess what you get? Minuscule returns.
Yeah.
So you are getting exactly what you want. You're getting exactly what you deserve. You're targeting the minuscule and you're getting minuscule money back. And then he's saying, why aren't the rest of you watching it? And then he's saying, but it's not made for you. And then he's saying, but why aren't you watching it again? Yeah. You can't have both. You can't play both sides of this one. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's either made for all or it's made for nobody.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't chase that audience per se. I mean, it's like you make a product, sure, you can have a target for sure, and the type of audience that you want, but they'll gravitate towards it if you're actually appealing to them and it's something that they desire, whether it be good service, doesn't matter what it is. I think right now, as far as their whatever film, TV, animation, all that, I think the problem it is that they have, yeah, some of it's maybe economic because it's all being for the most part funneled through a sort of system. Like if you look at Disney Plus with the streaming, that in itself is not working, maybe like. And I'm not saying that just to say, well, this can't work. I'm saying that from all the data points that we've looked at, they've lost every quarter billions before. I don't know if they maybe got it down to several hundreds of millions now. I'm not sure.
Well done.
Yeah.
We only lost several hundreds of millions this quarter.
Yeah.
We're turning this ship around.
Instead of billions. So it is being funneled through a system that, at least for them, has proven not to work. So yeah, that's part of it. But I mean, even with so what was the last, I guess if you say Star Wars, you have to kind of speak to Lucasfilm. Okay. So what was the last Star Wars film that like made them a significant amount of money?
Force Awakens.
Okay.
Yeah. Significant money. Force Awakens.
Money. Okay. So like, but after that, what do we have? Even with Lucasfilm, I mean, if you want to start throwing in some of the Indiana Jones stuff, we know that was a fucking.
Well, the Last Jedi probably made a few hundred million.
Made a little
probably
bit.
Made let's say four, 500 million. So $500 million, let's say. Solo then lost money. That was a loser for them. And the Rise of Skywalker, with all the reported budget kind of got absolutely out of hand on that one. And so there's a very good chance that the Rise of Skywalker lost, at the very best, probably broke even. Because that had to hit somewhere in the region of 1 to 1.2 billion to break even, and it hit 1.1. So it's sort of in the middle of that. So there's a chance at absolute pennies on it, or it might have even lost 100 mil or so.
Okay.
And then after that, we haven't had a Star Wars film at the theaters.
Yeah.
There hasn't been one. It's only been on Disney fucking Plus.
Everything's been on Disney Plus. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm trying to think. So the woman,
the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, based around the woman that was as fucking bland as whatever, vanilla. Actually, there's some really nice vanilla out there, to be honest with you, and she ain't it. It's now going to be the returning party in bringing Star Wars back to the theater. That's like bringing fucking Hitler back to save the Jews.
Yeah.
It's fucking absolute insanity. We're bringing Star Wars back to the cinema. Okay, right. Which direction are you going to go in? Yeah, you know that dumb bin that fucking nobody gave a shit about? And we just constantly had massive diminishing returns? Yeah, we're going to bring her back.
Has there anything been shot on that?
No.
Like, so either way, that's still like,
it's in pre-production right now.
Yeah, so that's down the line. That's something that's nowhere on the horizon, which makes this thing
2027, if you're asking me.
Okay, so that like I say, that's even hard to think about what the world is even going to look like then, in 2027. But it does make for an interesting conversation because look, I'd imagine that Disney, Lucasfilm is making a decent amount of money on merch, maybe. Not sure how their parks play into some of the stuff it is that they're making and the money that they're making, but they are in an interesting spot where the movies, films, animation, stuff that they are putting out there to be watched for an extended period of time, they can't land on anything right now. Not sure we can repeat the same damn conversation with Marvel where they can't fucking land jack shit either. But for those of us that have talked about the state of entertainment, I think it's very easy for folks to be like, well, yeah, you're just black. These people, old, angry men, misogynists that are just bitching and moaning about whatever the hell's going on right now. But
I like to call them customers. But okay.
true, yes. But even as if you are a person that maybe gets a little bit, you're a fan of this stuff still,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be, if you're just objective about, I'm just talking about what they're getting in return and the overall trajectory of where Star Wars is at right now. You cannot, in good faith, suggest that morale is high. I mean, you could, but don't believe your lying eyes. Is what you're telling me.
I don't even know how you could, but
I mean, I'm saying if you if you're delusional, right? If you are that much of a super fan to where you put the blinders on, okay. It ain't about whether you like the shit. You can think, oh, Acolyte, that's the best damn Star Wars produced show that to ever be made. Okay, fine. But if we are just being honest with ourselves, and we can throw the Ahsokas and the Obi-Wans and what am I missing? Am I missing something that got put out recently on Disney Plus? I think that covered most of what's recently come out, or like Mandalorian and everything that's happening, Boba Fett, all that shit. That I know I'm hurting your ass. My apologies, but all of that,
like repeated kicks in the bollocks.
But all of that, even if you thought all of that was awesome, if someone were to ask you the state of Star Wars, just as all encompassing, where it's at right now, you could not in good faith say this in a good spot. That's my opinion. Actually, I think it's more of a fact, but maybe there are those that think I'm the crazy one.
If Star Wars is in such good state, why hasn't there been a film in 5 years? Considering they were churning them out. Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, A Star Wars Story, Rise of Skywalker. They all came out in a space of 4 years. 4 years, was it? 5 years. 4 or 5 years. All of them came out in a space of that much. Now we're on the verge of that length of time with nothing. That's not the sign of a good franchise, considering that Rogue One and The Force Awakens both started off with good returns. In terms of box office, both hit over $1 billion. Force Awakens over $2 billion. And then you went from that down to maybe breaking even with The Rise of Skywalker. Maybe.
Right.
With merchandise rotting on the shelves because nobody is interested in
I mean, that
characters.
What happened with the Baby Yoda situation or whatever?
Well, they did what they do. They saturated it to death, and they killed any interest because they put a resolution and then realized that, we don't actually have any show whatsoever without the green fucker. So let's just bring him straight back, even though the series ended with digital face Luke Skywalker walking off with him. Then somebody goes, oh no, wow, that was and then the next season, okay, so where are we going? The green fucker's back. Now they're going to do a movie, Mando and the green fucker. Who's going to give a fuck? I don't think anyone really watched Mando season 3. I think that's now just gone into the toilet. I know I didn't give a single fuck after the whole Gina Carano business and Pedro Pascal just being
and they can try to dumb that down as if that's not a thing. Like that had no significant impact on their viewership. That's horse that's horse shit. Call it what it is. We all know that was pretty significant to people being like, yeah, I'm out. I'm kind of out on Star Wars, right? But yeah, I mean, if we're being completely honest, and we want to be really, really objective and fair, really all of what we say is validated in the fact that None of this shit's making money on Disney Plus. None of it. It's a money sink. It's effectively anything that go as of right now, as of today, anything that goes there is a loss. If you look at it in its entirety, if you look at Disney Plus as an entity, it's in the red. So anything that gets put on the bitch it's you wasted money effectively, right? Again, unless you are, and I don't want for once believe that this is Disney's model. If you wanted to make the argument that everything going on Disney Plus is to be treated like a loss leader, that's the loss leader aspect of their company, where they sink hundreds of millions of dollars into something being produced, and they think that that's going to make them more money elsewhere. So maybe putting Mandalorian on Disney Plus, they got in the positive or in the black, if you will, because Baby Yoda toys were selling like a motherfucker. Let's say I conceded that. Let's say that's the one spot that we can point to that's tangible, and it was just trying to send people to go buy some shit, and ultimately they made off of either licensing this stuff to studios that were making toys or whatever, or maybe they produced it themselves, that got them in the positive. Can you say the same thing about Obi-Wan? Could you say the same thing about Ahsoka?
Right. Imagine. Okay, hold on a second. Let me put this into a different terminology. Imagine you do item 1, item 2, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody comes along and they say, "Hey, Eric, I love what you've been doing with the Rippaverse. This is churning money. This is amazing. We want to send you a big fat check to take it over." And you're like, you're a human being, like, well, I could have a very happy life just doing whatever I want to do. Okay, I'll take that big happy check. You take the Rippaverse. And then they take the Rippaverse. And then they go, "Do you know what? I don't like any of this. We are now gonna turn this into our vision of the Rippaverse and how it should be." Yeah, Isom is now
Puerto Rican and gay.
Puerto Rican gay female. And well, no, wait a minute, we can't do that because they're established characters. So let's just destroy. Isom just turns around and goes, "Oh, I like the ass on Michael. I give him one." And then Yaira suddenly abdicates her power to a strong independent woman of gayness. Again, everyone's gay, of course, duh. Imagine just somebody taking it and just everything that everybody liked about it just got annihilated.
Yeah.
And they went, "This is our version. Why aren't you invested in any of it?" Because you fundamentally destroyed everything that people liked.
Yeah.
Star Wars was a generational thing from the 80s through to the early 2000s. And then coming into where Disney took over.
Absolutely.
You had a generational thing, and then you had Kathleen Kennedy come out saying, "Oh, we don't want those old fans. We don't want those 50-something fans." But those 50-something fans have had children, which they've put onto Star Wars, which might now even be having grandchildren, which they may want to put onto Star Wars, the things that they loved, because it's a generational product. But when you come out and say, "Nah, fuck them boys," they go, "All right, who are they going to turn onto this stuff?" And if the people who've come through the generations are like, "How dare you be disrespectful? Without these guys, we wouldn't be interested in this stuff." And they're like, "Oh, shut up, you're probably misogynist anyway, so shut your fucking mouth. You get out of the fandom as well." And then
that's so wild, man.
Everybody from the fandom, and then they turn around and go, "Why are they gatekeeping?
Yeah.
Why are they stopping people from liking Star Wars?"
Unbelievable.
I can't do anything to stop people from watching Star Wars. Am I fucking running out around knocking on doors, fucking turning TVs off? Wait, you got Star Wars on? That goes off. Hashtag gatekept.
Hashtag gatekept.
I can't do fucking shit. You're the ones who are turning people off. You're the ones who are gatekeeping your own fucking product.
Yeah.
But the projection is real because we're dealing with a bunch of projectionists. But, you know, projection is real.
It's fascinating. And look, I would encourage people, and I'm being dead fucking serious, man. And I even speak to this from the perspective of how we handle business as well with the rippaverse. There are people that are so emotionally distraught at people having fucking analyzing something differently than what they do, right? Okay, so that sends them fucking in a frenzy. Okay, whatever. But I would encourage you, if you are one of those still fans of what's going on with Star Wars or Marvel, we can make this it's something unique to me and something that I'm a big fan of. Have a conversation with someone that is the general fan of this shit and get their perspective, right? Like actually listen to them, not some fucking corporate funneled opinion on what's happening. You can discuss this shit with your average Marvel, Star Wars. I can go brand to brand and just discuss it with them. Okay, where are you at with where this shit is at? And often they're going to repeat the same thing that we've been saying. This whole fucking thing, I think, with Sweet Baby Inc., for example, with gaming, as an example, right, with entertainment. You have so many normal just gamers, people that don't even do the culture war shit, right? That are calling this stuff for what it is, sounding the alarm on what it is. And there are folks out there that still think that we just are conjuring up a fucking boogeyman, which I would argue, you want to talk about projection, that's how they treat us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is more or less they act like we're the ones seeing ghosts when it's like, I don't know, man. That seems to apply a lot to you because you fundamentally don't understand what it is that we're saying. And it seems like you're purposefully doing that, right? It's like the whole women bit, right? It gets me every fucking time where it's you get a female Reva, okay? We're not a lot of fans of Reva, okay? Well, what does that mean, You don't like black people?
Yes.
You don't like women?
Black women.
Yeah. You're not a fan of them at all existing in media.
No, it's got nothing to do with actual character. I mean, we are talking about Reva, the woman who survived Order 66 by taking a lightsaber to the chest from Anakin. Don't worry about it, folks. Don't think about it. Who then decided that she would do anything in her power to get revenge for those fallen Jedi by hunting and murdering Jedi.
Makes sense. Very likable. And if you disagree,
but I was hunting and murdering those Jedi so that I could get closer to Darth Vader so I could eventually kill Darth Vader. I just had to kill and hunt a bunch of Jedi to avenge the Jedi that were hunted and killed. Do you not see how fucking retarded that is?
But no, it's because she's black.
It's because she's black and female. That's why.
Yeah, that's why you don't like her.
Yeah,
right?
Got him. Got him.
Yeah, I mean, it has nothing to do with any of those aspects. It's because black and women.
Black and vag. Yeah.
Black and vag. That's the problem. That's the issue. But again, these people aren't. The reason I brought that up is because these people aren't listening to jack shit anybody is saying. So when you call it out and you're in front of it often, if you have been discussing this for what it was, they called you crazy, and then it has the exact outcome that you said it was going to have, where this is not a sustainable practice, which is, I think, what most of us were saying. When you were on the front end of the Star Wars shit and you're like, the direction that this is going is not the direction that's going to be sustainable. People are willing to give you the benefit of the doubt for making a bad movie or two that not even bad, just something that didn't sit well with the overall audience. They'll give you a lot of leeway with that. But you can't just repeat it time and time and time and time again. Double down in public when you're talking about it, taking shots at passionate fans. You can't do any of that. That's not that's not a recipe for success, which leads me actually to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's something I'm very passionate about. I think the perspective is lost here, because I, for all those years, was talking about Marvel and DC. I spent a lot of time editing videos. I gained the knowledge over all these years on these various characters that, and yeah, there was a universe happening at the time with both major companies that maybe was arguably at its peak at that time. And I was covering all of it. Okay. Some was more of a, just objective. What happened? I used to do like my Who is Thanos series. A lot of y'all found me through that. It was one of the first series that I did on comics, where I was just going through the history of Thanos. And I say this because I'm coming at the end of the day from the perspective of a fan, not a hater, not someone that doesn't like this shit, not someone that wants to see it destroyed just for the sake of it being destroyed. As far as the brand is concerned, I'm coming from the perspective of someone that has spent quite literally decades investing time, effort, and a whole lot of fucking money on various things that has been produced under the brand known as Marvel and under the brand known as DC. So I think that the reason why I keep saying this perspective is lost there, because we're not coming from that, oh, well, we just hate fucking everything, or we just hate this shit. It doesn't need to. No, it's like, bro, I like this shit. I really, really would love for you to continue to produce the things it is that made me fall in love with this brand. I've built a lot of friendships through it. Fandom, people that I've met, my connection with them has been through stories, characters that were created under this wing, right? Okay. Not a hater. Where I think the mainstream cats, where I think the or let's say the creatives, using that loosely, that are now in control of this stuff, whether it be access media types, whether it be these weirdos who I'm not going to call them shields. I don't know what you would call them, but they are it's like they act like what I see does not fucking exist, and it's not a thing.
Hostage victims.
I guess you can call them that, right?
Stockholm syndrome.
Whatever it may be, they conflate that shit with a general hater. Those are two different things.
Eric, we had Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi in the Kenobi series stood by a laser fence that you could fucking walk around, and he had to try and pretend that he couldn't get through. That's the level of retardation we're dealing with. It was not just a fucking Reaver. It's a Reaver. It's an Obi-Wan. It's a Leia. It was a fucking everything problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had a humdinger of a show set up. A Jedi like Obi-Wan, while looking after Luke, while looking over Luke, reflecting on how his relationship with Anakin fell apart. Reflecting on maybe what he could have done. Where were the signs? Where were signals? Where could I have done better? Why did our friendship fall apart? How did it get to where it got? You could have this wonderful show based around that. No, we just got actual fucking retardation.
Yeah.
It's the writing which is failing, because they're hiring people who don't even fucking like this shit in the first place. Don't even fucking like it, know nothing about it.
May actually despise at least the people that are fans of it. You can make that argument.
But we see that all the time. Oh, I'm here to destroy your
that's what he said. I'm gonna take his word for it. That's what Taika told me.
When I've been doing videos about this. When people tell you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
Believe them. When they tell you exactly what they're doing, believe them. They're there. They're being straight up with you. They're being open. We're gonna fucking fuck this up. We're going to take everything that you like and we're going to crush it. We're going to annihilate it, because we don't want it like that. We want it this way now.
That's what they said. That's what they told me, right?
Yeah.
So
I believe you.
I will absolutely take your word for that. And then when I do take your word for it, that's the issue that I have, is that you conflate that with like we're just a guy that, like, I don't know, I just roll right out of the fucking turnip truck, to use a turn of phrase in the South, and I just don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm like, have you fucking watched anything it is that I have said about this company? Like, I would talk about things that would be changed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that was needless. And I was ahead of it a million years ago. I was like, oh, you're bringing in Thanos. All right, let's just use that as an example. Remember, I've already done a fucking entire series on this. So I'm like, okay, you got Thanos. I get it. You got to try to fit him within your universes, to set up a lot of different characters, okay, that were very prominent in not only the development of just the general look of your universe during that time, if you're talking about Marvel Comics, but with the character of Thanos itself. Okay, I'm expecting and anticipating, maybe not immediately, but at some point, there's going to be OG Captain Marvel, because there is zero reason to start this thing off with him being a villain if you're not going to have him. Okay, even if I conceded that that being Thanos' original main kind of adversary being Marvel, you're not going to do that. Gotcha. What about Adam Warlock? You've already, through the Guardians, introduced Aisha, so that's a natural thing that's going to happen. Okay, you bought the Fox properties. Wouldn't it be a very smart thing to maybe make, I don't know, Silver Surfer pop up in it, much like exactly what happened during the Infinity Gauntlet arc, which Silver Surfer had a role in that, as well as Adam Warlock, right? Who has a fucking soul gem, or whatever they call it, Infinity Gem, or whatever they call it in their universe, on his fucking forehead, right? They did none of that. None of it happened. And so I take it to my little YouTube channel, compile my thoughts, maybe write an entire script on this stuff, get in front of a camera and tell people, not just, I don't like this, I think this sucks, I hate this shit. No, this is a problem. This makes sense. And this is why. Or doesn't make sense, excuse me. And this is why that this doesn't make sense. You think I'm coming from now? I'm gonna waste all that goddamn time and energy talking about this shit like that if I wasn't a fan? Or I was even indifferent, especially if I was indifferent on it. No, I'm coming from the perspective of a guy that likes this shit. I get enjoyment, or I got enjoyment out of it. And instead, Shield Media, Access Media, the creators, and those that, I would argue, they were the actual tourists all along. The people that were only into it because it was in. They were into the in thing. And they told me, well, they didn't make this for you. It's a different universe. You're just a toxic man, baby. All of these different things that I was told. Yeah, obviously, because I am against tokenization of a certain character, then I must hate myself, therefore. That's what they told me. That was the position that they had, that they took publicly. And like I was saying earlier, there is a difference between someone that maybe is going into it with absolute fucking malice, right? Like they're not into it. But I would make the argument that those were the posers that weren't actually into this shit. Because I've made this point a million times for a multitude of years. I said, if you go the direction that you're going in, you're going to burn this shit into the ground, and it is your game to lose. But what you have to remember is that if you lose your diehards, your core fan base, the normies will move on to something else.
Oh, yes, they will.
So what do you have after you've done that? If you've lost the normies, because maybe it's not the end thing anymore, it's a trend, whatever. But you've also lost the diehards because you pushed them out and you said that you didn't really want them. I'm not adapting anything that you were familiar with. Why the fuck would I do that? Because modern audiences. Okay, fine. That is your approach. What are you left with?
Disney.
That's what you're left with. You're left with a mega corporate entity that feels like it has no goddamn soul, that feels like it's producing things that they don't give a shit about, that feels like it's producing things where the creatives that are a part of it have zero actual passion in accurately adapting stuff that they didn't fucking create. And by stuff, I'm meaning sometimes it's full-blown characters, or we can just talk about the brand in itself. But oftentimes it's the characters that we've already seen. You didn't make them become a fan favorite. So if you're walking in, you should take the Sasuke approach, like they did with Black Widow, okay? They learned Black Widow. We talked about this last week. They learned Black Widow. They understood who Black Widow was. They told a story that made sense for Black Widow. Not, okay, I'm trying to self-insert the Sasukas into Black Widow. No, it's like, who's Black Widow? I understand that Black Widow. I'm gonna write a fresh story that makes sense for that character and the situation that they're going to be in, that I'm going to put them in the story. And that the result of that was No Restraints Play, which to me, as far as the series is concerned, that's about the best Black Widow that you're going to fucking get as far as the version of her. But that's something that's done, again, out of love, out of admiration, out of actual enjoyment and care, having care for the property. It is your writing. That's not what it is that we're getting. What we're getting is, hey, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's, I don't know, I kind of owe you a favor. All right, I'm gonna bring you in on this project. Hey, do you know anything about this shit that you're writing?
No.
Comics. Who said anything about comics? But you're writing a comic book character. Oh, that's fine. Okay, how do they look? All right, we'll loosely base it off of that. Everything else, it's gonna be about me.
Is Netflix interested in it? Is there any interest in a streaming service? Can I move this to film? Can I get this onto another TV show? What's in it for me? Can I nego? I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
They have zero interest in this. In fact, our good friend Gary, I remember the video that he did a few weeks back, maybe about a month, where he compiles all of the directors and showrunners as writers, if I'm not mistaken, like Jack Schaefer, who I used to talk about a lot. And they just flat out admit it. I have no idea what the fuck happened in that book, in those comic books. We were going into it saying that we weren't going to do any of that shit, really. Maybe they told me that I shouldn't even care about it. Maybe they told me that I shouldn't.
They're encouraged.
Yeah, they're encouraged.
Yeah.
Don't you dare go read that shit. Just figure it out. Free ball it, if you will. And then you get something that is completely fucking unrecognizable. Unrecognizable. And that's the part that I think that a customer, long-time customer, part of the fan base, has every fucking right to look at that and look at it with disgust. If they have invested so much time, money, especially watching various things, movies, buying merchandise, statues, posters, books, all that shit, and then there's another, you're expecting their dollar, you're expecting their money, exactly, all the stuff you're expecting. Hey, I want you to go invest in this new property that's based on all that shit that you've invested, and I know in our case, quite literally thousands of dollars in. Thousands. You know what? None of this shit has anything to do with any of that stuff you purchased. You basically told them to go fuck themselves and all the money that they spent on your shit. To me, that's disrespect.
Of course it is. But you have to have people who are coming from a respectful place with the properties to actually have any respect for the customers. They don't have any respect for the customers because they don't have any respect for the properties that they're involved in. Kathleen Kennedy didn't even know there was an extended Star Wars universe. in books, comics, all kinds of media. Oh, that's why Marvel can do everything that they're doing, because we don't have that exhaustive. Are you fucking for real?
Yeah.
Are you fucking for real?
Yeah.
This is Halo. They were encouraged not to look into the Halo lore, media, even at the basic, not even play the games.
Yeah.
And what you get? You get the Halo TV show. An absolute non-recognizable piece of dog shit. And they
that
get
ain't Halo.
commissioned for 2 seasons before it's even released. It's commissioned for 2 seasons. So come what may, they got to make 2 seasons. They bought and paid for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And they put the first one out, and it's dead after 1 episode. Because after the first episode, he's helmet off. Helmet's off. Hey. I'm a master chief chef. I'm Master Queef. You know, it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you taking your helmet off? Nobody's ever seen your face. So you're not. It's your face, isn't it? Oh well, how can our actor emote if we can't see his face or anus? Oh, I don't know. Let me just spitball for a minute here. Got it. Act. How does a voice actor come across in voice acting properties, whether it be video games, whether it be fucking cartoons or whatnot? Through the voice. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
Through the voice of the character. They don't care. None of the people who are in charge of these properties care. And if you don't care about the property, how the fuck or why the fuck are you going to care about the people who like them? We get the dichotomy of you just hate everything, duh. And when you go duh, they go, oh, well, you're just a man baby with toys. Well, which one is it? Am I just a man baby with toys?
Yeah.
Or do I fucking hate everything?
Yeah.
You can't have it both fucking ways.
Yeah.
Because one is not the same as the other, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, actually. And that's the thing. Like, you can't. I think passion. Let me say this. I believe that people do not give enough credit to both passion as well as the intellect of the general customer and fan of a given property. That especially got put in. I already knew it, but it especially got put in perspective when I started the Rippaverse. If people pick up on that, you give a shit about what it is that you do, and you show them, and like, granted, you can't just talk about it. For sure. It's just one thing to be like, yeah, I'm very passionate and I care a lot about it. But you're not actually showing them, right? You got your thumb all the way up your ass, not really doing jack shit. They pick up on that. But if you care about it, you're putting the work, you're putting the effort into it, right? That shows they will give you leeway. Okay, you have the fucking right to produce something that, they may be mixed, but they don't fucking hate you. They actually care about it. But when you are telling them, hey, we're not doing this for you. I also don't give a shit about any. I'm just trying. This is a stepping stool. I got this gig with Amazon that I'm really, really pushing for. And I'm really using this property to hopefully launch myself and my career over there where I want to be. This stuff, I don't really even care about it. It's just a means to a fucking end. Okay. And they pick up on that. And then you tell them hell, we got social media now. They just tell on themselves. Like you said, we talked about Tycho. We don't have to sit up here and guess of where his position is on the mythos of the lore. They fucking there's 2 instances where the motherfuckers flat out said he will ruin your mythos. And then on the other side, he was asked, hey man, have you even fucking read a Thor comic? He's like, nah, I have no fucking. Okay. How in the fuck or could you expect me, the super fan, to give you any benefit of any fucking doubt or give you any kind of leeway or any room when you told me you don't care about this shit, you've shown me that you don't care about this, and you are going to in turn produce something that it's like it's whatever.
We both know there's never been an accurate representation of pretty much any character that's gone on the screen.
Not a one by one, no.
But are we raging about every single solid
No.
bit? No. Why?
No.
Because we're looking at the people that are making the product, and we're looking at how they convey it and how they are representing the character.
Mhm.
So even going all the way back to Batman 89. Let's go to Batman 89, okay? Does Batman kill? No. Does Batman kill in Batman 89? Yes. Is that Batman film by Tim Burton revered? Yes. But why? Because it's different from the source material. It's different from the character. It's about the attitude that Tim Burton had, the love of the characters that he had, and the vision that he had for the characters, and a vision which he believed would be, a really interesting representation of what actually Batman was, one that would capture an audience, take it away from the campy stuff, look at what's been going on in the comics with Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, looking at the Dark Knight.
Shout out both of them.
Yeah, big time. Just looking at the way that the comic was going with the character and taking that as an extension point. And then when you listen to any of the interviews, whether it be the writer, the producer, the director themselves, the actor, they were all coming from such a passionate place about producing the best thing that they possibly could. Did they know exhaustive amounts? Not necessarily, no. A lot of the writers will be going through source material like it's going out of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Nolan. Was Christopher Nolan a comics guy? No. What did Christopher Nolan do though when he took over the reins of Batman? He went through different aspects of Batman, pulled on different pieces. Let's take a bit from Batman Prey. Let's take a bit from Nightfall. Let's take a little bit from this. All the way through Batman Year One. He was taking snippets, pieces, seeing how it could work into his vision and being respectful of the characters.
Yes.
David Hayter with the X-Men and X2. Are they great films? Are they accurate representations of the comic book X-Men? No. But is it a really respectful position that you have? Because you have such a limited, narrow time, 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours to do something with. You can't put it out beat for beat. You can't do it exactly how it's coming to source material. You have to understand what to trim, what to kind of put together. But two amazing X-Men films. So when a fan can see, oh yeah, they are really trying with this. They're making the characters look how the characters look in the comics.
Yes.
They are trying to make the personalities the way that the personalities. Might take liberties here or there because they want to make that character sort of have that person's personalities. But you understand that. You see, I get what they're doing. I get what they're doing. I understand that, and it's actually still out of the continuity of what we read, because we read what we read. This was fun. This was well done, fun, blah, blah, blah. Lots of superhero films throughout the last 20, 30, 40 years, going back to Superman with Christopher Reeve, critically heralded by the fans as well. So it's about having actual love and respect for those characters, or just respect. You don't even have to have love. Just respect for the characters, the worlds that they're in, and producing something that you believe is going to be a product that the fans will like and that the audiences, normies will like. You got to try and blend the two together.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone.
Yes.
It's gone.
And we see it. Like I'm not gonna be gaslit on this. Like I see it.
We're getting the antithesis of it. We're having them, like you say, tell us no, and we didn't read anything. We've been actively encouraged not to. I don't know anything about these characters. Oh, I don't care about your fandom. This is our vision now. This is what we're doing now. And if you don't get on board with it, oh well. That's where we are now, and then they're telling us, believe them.
That's the thing. It's not a conspiracy, man.
No.
They are just flat out telling us when it was Jack Schaefer, wasn't that didn't know what. I mean, imagine doing having all these characters that you're adapting in that WandaVision and having no fucking idea who Mephisto was.
No,
she said it. I didn't. Because you know, people were like trying to reach and say, "Oh, this was gonna introduce," and then she comes out like, "I had no idea who the fuck that character was."
But if I was given a character that I knew nothing about, I'm more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy by a long stretch. If somebody said to me tomorrow, "Oh, Az would like you to make a Mephisto film, write a Mephisto film," the very first thing I'd do would just be go trawling through the source material of Mephisto,
absolutely.
trawling through it, get me every story that I can, go through it, read it. What do I like? Grab that bit. Oh, I like that aspect of him. Let's put that to one side. Let's go through this. Let's go through that. Oh, we could do something with this part. Let's put it there. Let's see if we can start marrying those two together. That's what I would be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
what any
now
respectable writer would.
Encouraged.
I-
Encouraged.
I speak from experience. When you're dealing with absolute professionals that care about their jobs, they take it upon themselves to learn about that. I have 3 great ones here, groups. Two of them being a group. And Tasaskas, Chuck Dixon, Mike Barron. 2 of the fucking. I mean, with the 2 latter, especially being around for as long as they have been around, the absolute, utmost professionals, right? So they take it upon themselves. Who the hell is this character? Send me everything that you have as far as their first appearance. Maybe it was in ISOM, maybe it was in ISOM 2 or whatever. Send me everything. I have a universe Bible entry for this. Oh, great. Send that my way. Let me learn about them. Okay, let me come up with this outline. Does this make sense for this character? Tell me that and tell me if it does or does not and why, so I can understand who the character is, despite them having never obviously wrote anything about the character before, right? Because they were, in our cases, it was especially a new one. But that's what professionals do. Does anybody get the fucking feeling? DC, current Marvel products, Star Wars, fucking. I mean, I can go property to property. Maybe some Trekkies in there. Maybe feel me on it as well. Do you get the fucking feeling that level of care, attention to detail is
quite the opposite? I get the feeling of resentment. I get the feeling that they hate what they've been passed. I get the feeling that they hate what's come before them, whether it be through jealousy, just don't care, whatever it may be. And I certainly get the feeling that they despise the fans. Those are the vibes I get from these modern products.
Yeah.
You can't put out something like Star Trek Discovery and say that you like Star Trek. It's the antithesis of Star Trek. You can't put out half the comics that we see today that we
we can have another hour discussion about some of these shits that have happened. You get the feeling that T. Franklin is just
they will drain you, Eric. They will milk you like a fucking dairy cow for money.
You don't get the feeling that they care so much about this, and it's not at all about validating their personal positions on or social views or anything, using the character as some sort of stepping stool or vehicle for or maybe even validation. Worse. Hold on, wait, no. Come on, ass. Batman flying over a riot. That's something that he would do.
Yeah. So they got insurance, Eric. Talking about a bigot.
Why would Batman disperse a
why would Batman fight crime?
Yeah, what?
Why would Batman fight crime? Why would Batman protect the property of an innocent person when that innocent person's he's got fucking insurance? Fuck him. Batman, there's a fire. There's people in the building. Fucking, they probably got life insurance. Fuck him.
They can dial 911. Let the fire extinguishers or the firefighters take care of that.
But there's people inside. Okay, are the people insured? Do they have life insurance on the families? Have you got life insurance? Yeah. Batman says, "Fuck, you get a payout. Fuck them."
And I want people to understand the now that I'm pulling it up, because I know we've talked about this a few times. I'm gonna pull the stuff up for you. I'm gonna go reference my old video Like, I'm not joking, guys. This actually happened, and I'm glad we can finally talk about it because ripping the Silverback was not a thing back when I was talking about this this stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys here. That's the panel, and I'm gonna read it to you. Now, y'all let me know if this shit sounds like Batman. Haven't seen a night like this in a while. Last time it was this bad was with that damn fear gas in the water supply. Only so much I can do. Need to prioritize. Now, for you guys that can't see, maybe your audio listener got us on in the background.
Can I jump in after this bit? Can I just jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. You could say to me now, as a Batman fan, based off what Batman has said,
just off of that one panel,
off of what he's just said, then what would you think Batman would do? And I'd be like, well, okay, he's got limited time. He understands that he's got to prioritize certain things. He would probably like chuck down a tear grenade gas or something.
Yes.
He'd throw down a tear grenade gadget to explode that would dispense the crowd, get them away from there. So that's going to probably scare away the vast majority of the people there, and he can carry on. So that's the very least, if he's really up against it, that he would do.
Okay, but let's see what he actually did.
Okay.
For those of you that are watching again or listening again, you have Ultra HD TV. You got these riders screaming and burning shit down. All this. So, this is where it really starts to not sound like Batman. Listen to this. Listen to this. He says, "Hunt the big fish, protect the little fish." And then he says, "These places all have insurance. Not my job to protect their profit margins." Does that sound like fucking anything that Batman would say watching a bunch of crazed fucking rioters fuck a place up and loot the bitch? I'll read it again just to make ass sick. These places all have insurance. Not my job to protect their profit margins. And that's Batman saying it. I'll continue on just to make ass even sicker. He says, "In my father's day, the American dream used to mean something: an honest wage for honest work, food on the table, liberty, and justice for all."
What are you talking about? It's the fucking dishonest people breaking into the property! It's their honest day's work which is getting fucked over! Jesus Christ! Which spastic fucking wrote this, by the way?
I can't remember his name. What the fucker's name was. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the actual video. What his name was. But it's real.
Was it Spastic McTwatface?
That's his name. That's more accurate.
Yeah.
He says, "Now it's an illusion, a carrot on a stick, attainable."
It's not an illusion. It's a tangible thing happening in front of your fucking eyes. It's tangible right there. Business being broken into by scum who think they need to get fucking paid for nothing. Where somebody's put money, time, blood, sweat, tears into building that fucking business. It's not a profit margin, it's somebody's fucking life.
Yeah. That's a fact. He says it's attainable by a few, dangled just out of reach for everyone else. A bigger TV, a faster car, this is not Batman. Shiny objects to keep the masses distracted while the world around them burns. You want to blame them for grabbing the carrot? He's just this is Batman. This is the part that really pissed me off when I was going through this. This is Batman trying to rationalize with fucking rioters, man. He says, you want to blame them for grabbing the carrot when the lights go out? Go ahead. He's essentially saying, like, you can't blame them for acting the way that they are.
Why did you murder that person? Well, they walked in front of me. They dangled the carrot. They walked in front of me, so I just fucking pushed them in. Pushed them in front of the train. Oh, well, I mean, you can't really say blame him. I mean, well, they were fucking walking past him at the time, so. This is the most fucking commie ridiculous crap I have fucking read in my life. Oh, look at these people. Oh, look, did you put something in your window? Did you put your wares in your fucking window that you're looking to sell so you can make a profit margin? So you can fucking put food on your family's table? How fucking dare you? Why aren't you just giving your shit away, you fucking fake, you broken commie fuck? Yeah, Batman would totally say that.
He would totally
I'm not even fucking sure Joker would say that, but okay.
I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. This is Batman, guys. This is Batman. This isn't.
Well,
yeah, no, this ain't
this
Batman.
is not. This is not Batman.
This is not Batman. But this speaks to the point it was that we had been making. Like, I read that. Do I get a sense that this person actually gives a flying rat's ass that, like, they care about Batman, like they care about Bruce Wayne? No, I get the feeling that, and remember, this was happening during, of course, the post Sum of Love, right? Where you had, I don't know, the CNNs of the world doing the exact same fucking thing, justifying people, stealing people's shit, right? Even the AOCs of the world, right? This whole, protesting, right? And it's supposed to make y'all uncomfortable, essentially justifying people breaking into other folks' businesses.
Yeah. Eat the rich. Not me, though, but eat the rich.
Exactly. Now, again, if you're reading this, do you get the feeling that this person gives a fuck about Batman, DC, or was it just a situation where he was like, you know what?
Oh, look what I just found in my comic collection.
What's that?
Oh, this is Batman Year 2.
Okay.
Part 1, by the way. This is Batman Year 2.
Okay.
And what do we have here? Oh wow, we got a break in.
Oh, what?
We got some burglars who are breaking into somebody's apartment because they think they deserve what's in there. Hey, did you leave a TV on? Yeah, I did. Makes people there think somebody's home. You gonna turn on the lights, or are you gonna play Helen Keller? Just a second. I want to make sure that we're alone. The bat signal. All right, I think we're okay. They see the bat signal in the sky, and then he moves the torch, and oh wait, that's a different bat signal right in front of his fucking face, on the chest of a guy. I wonder who that guy could fucking be that has the bat signal on his chest. Oh wait, that's fucking Batman. That's fucking Batman.
Yes.
Whoa, wait. I thought we was too little for a brother with no crime and no criminal. Make Gotham City a safer place to live.
Interesting.
As he fucking breaks the faces.
As Batman would. As only Batman would.
There again, you had to know. You had to know Batman to even begin to just easily pick a very fucking clear example from your comic collection. Ones that they fucking don't even possess, no doubt. No crime, no criminal.
And by the way, I found out who this guy was. It was Gary Whitta. Now, as soon as I remember looking through this, it's Gary Whitta. I had to copy that. I went to the video, copy the name. And if we go over here, I don't know. You can just take a take a look and list like, okay, I read that. I should not know if there's a character as established as Batman. I should not be able to say, yeah, I know exactly what the fuck your politics are based on that one page that we just read. And if you go through it, it's the same shit. It's social justice leftism. It's signaling about various other goofy shit. That's this guy's politics, and that's what you got when you got that Batman, Antifa Batman. Is that you didn't get Batman. What you got was that Gary Whitta's personal views on the landscape, arguably at the time, as far as the politics were concerned, being funneled through DC's most popular fucking character. That's what you got. And it's obvious. It's just amazing to see. And it's amazing, like, if you look at how
Batman's an ally. He's an ally, dude.
Of course, of the Antifa types, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, if it was bad enough that, okay, he's just going to be like, these places all have insurance. It's the dumbest fucking thing, the non-Batman thing. But by the time we get to the last panel, he's now got to the point to where he's justifying the behavior.
Yes.
He's saying that, well, you can't be tripping out that these guys who can't attain this American dream would start to act out. The fuck? That's not Batman.
No. Let's just really play devil's advocate here. Knowing Batman as I know Batman, 30 plus fucking years reading him. Don't worry about it. Let's just say Batman is under such pressure to get where it needs to get quick that he can't even fucking drop a tear gas grenade. Can't even do anything. Has to go across. Realizes what's going on. I can't divert. I mean, even the internal dialogue will be somebody's livelihood getting annihilated. I can't do anything right now. Somebody's food been taken from their table. Entitled people believing that they have the right to take other people's property. Can't deal with this right now. You know that by time that story arc wrapped up, it would be ending with Bruce Wayne either anonymously donating to the guy.
Good point.
To put his business back on track, or by Bruce purchasing the whole fucking street and renovating the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it would fucking end.
I mean, this Batman quite literally flies right by and just says, I got priorities here.
He goes past and he says, fuck him, Eric. That's what he does. That's what he does.
He doesn't even try.
Fuck him.
There's no like, all right, man, I could drop some tear gas here, try to disperse at least of the crowd as is, so I can get back to doing what it is that I need to do. I can at least do something. He, like, look at this. Like, look at the visual of this. He is looking at him. Right here. You see that he goes from zipping, he lands, and he's looking at these guys fuck shit up. And then he just goes away. He looks at him and says, y'all kind of got a point. You know what? All right, see you later. There's a fire. It's on fire, man. Like, it's not just if breaking into business wasn't bad. They done broke into motherfucking business, started taking shit out of it, and lit the bitch on fire.
Eric, you have to understand these people are entitled to a 65-inch LED color TV.
Guess so.
They're entitled to that. Yeah? The man has been keeping them down. And it's about time that they rose up against the man by breaking into a private property, breaking into a small business, and stealing that 65 OLED TV because they deserve it. I hope Bane breaks this baguettes back.
You cheer for Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon's
all day. Hell yeah.
Bane to break that Batman's back, because that is clearly a fucking fraud.
Do you know that's actually it's a fair point that we bring that up, because one of the reasons why Batman was so fucking broken during Nightfall that allowed Bane to just literally walk into the Batcave and fucking take him apart was because he couldn't stop fighting crime.
Yeah.
He couldn't stop it. He couldn't even take a break. He knew he was so driven and understood he was perfectly willing to put himself. There's a whole story that leads up in before Nightfall even begins. But he's got a perpetual broken nose.
Yeah.
He's got a perpetual broken nose. I think it's Metalhead that has like this fucking chain on his head that smashes his nose in, I think it's Batman 488, maybe Batman 487, where he smashes Batman's nose, and literally leading all the way into Nightfall, throughout the subsequent comics, his nose is just constantly bleeding because he's just hasn't set his nose. He hasn't had time to seek medical attention for his nose to get it properly fixed. And he's just going out there, and his nose is just constantly fucking bleeding all the time because he's just got to fight. And then Bane bursts open Arkham. And when Batman's already physically exhausted, physically fucking broken, mentally as well, he's just been driving himself too much. Bane busts open Arkham. Now all the big guys are out. Now you got to take care of all of those, Batman. And he can't stop. He has to go after them. He systematically go after them. And then, so by the time he's on the verge of literally just collapsing, Bane's there in Wayne Manor. He's just like, now it's time for me. And it wasn't even a fight. The Nightfall fight isn't even a fight. It's just Bane throwing him around the Batcave and then putting him out of his misery. It's not a fight.
Yeah.
The fight between Batman and Bane never happens. The fight happens between Jean-Paul Vallée and Bane. That's what happens. But Bruce doesn't have a fight with Bane. He's done.
Yeah.
Could even throw a fucking punch. Try to throw a punch, but Bane just fucking whatever. Get out of the way.
Yeah. It just speaks to all of the issues with modern just media. Modern creative decisions, or lack thereof, depending on what way you put it, being made by people that fundamentally do not understand, care about the characters that they're writing. And again, I saw Brian in the chat and we talked about it before. You just mentioned it. Okay, let's just assume that you didn't know who this character was. Somehow you don't know Batman. Okay. Would it not be the respectable position to say, I'm going to go learn about Batman? They asked me they approached me. Maybe he has the accomplishments that he's done, Gary Whitta, creatively, and that it makes him attractive as a writer. Okay, cool. No problem with that. But you would think professionally, right? And editorially, of course, would be like, okay, well, we still need to have an understanding of who it is that you're writing, right? Not just, it can't be a free-for-all. It can't be, hey, I only kind of understand them. Everything else I'm just going to make about me. And my positions on the political landscape or social, my overall social views. But that's what happened. Like what happened was, I can't say for sure if it was DC approached him or what have you. Friends knew each other. The editor knew so-and-so, and they brought him. I have no idea how exactly he got on to write the project. What I do know is the outcome. And the outcome was the first goddamn pages is Batman rationalizing with people that steal from innocent folk. And make no mistake, I get it. It's the whole modern communistic, socialistic, I almost used a gamer word there. Very close, but it's to act like private property is a bad thing. It's to act like private property isn't something that is obtained often through, obviously, the labor. Even if you go through how that person obtained the money to purchase this or to make this manifest to then sell it to you. Blood, sweat, and tears is what it is from somebody, was how you got that product to be purchased by the customer. Okay. So if you steal the shit, you are quite literally stealing from them, right? This is the innocent thing. And even just understand how fucking insurance works and claims. You can't just be like, yeah, they got insurance. That's not a solution, bro. Do you not understand how it realistically, no matter where you're at, how long it takes? I'm from the South. I live in North Texas, so I live in Tornado Alley. Tornado Alley. I live in Tornado Alley. Shit happens. You know how long it often takes people to just get some bread broke off from having their property destroyed due to a natural disaster. Oftentimes, even with certain insurances that you have, it doesn't even, depending on what it is or what type of insurance that we're talking about, it doesn't even cover fucking rotting.
Dude, I'll give you an even better example. Because we're talking about Batman here. Crime Alley is a nickname. Where Batman's parents are killed, Crime Alley is a nickname. That's what it got referred to now. Because Crime Alley used to be an affluent area in Gotham. And it's misinterpreted a lot as it's always been like a deadbeat place. No. It used to be an affluent area of Gotham. And after the murder of Thomas and Martha Wayne, that was the start of the rot for it. That was the start of the rot for the area. And that area degraded and degraded until it only became known as Crime Alley.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you allow crime to happen in a specific area and you do nothing about it.
Right.
Or you get away with it, more importantly. You drive people away. You drive things away. And so what did the residents of that area? Well, Thomas and Martha Wayne, the two most prominent people in Gotham, were murdered outside of their fucking house. Are we safe here? No, they move away. And then when they move away, the property starts to drop and drop and drop in value. Why? Because this is the place known where Thomas and Martha were murdered.
Right.
It's like the anti-gentrification, you know?
Yeah.
It's urban decay.
Yeah.
It's the brought about of urban decay.
And that's what you get. And many people across, especially the US, are even seeing that right now. That's what you get when you don't take this type of shit serious, right? And it impacts folks in more ways. I mean, we were making this argument. This goes to show that how economically illiterate Gary Wood is, because we were even talking about this when the shit was happening out here in 2020 during the Summer of Love, right? Like, you can't look at it like, okay, here's a business that got broken into. Let's even assume that they're big box business got broken into. People stole shit out of it. Oh, well, they got it. Okay. That's a stupid ass non-argument. But think about the employees that got impacted. They lost that place has to stay closed for X amount of time because they have to, if they even are going to rebuild.
Well, let's say they get an insurance payout, the premiums go through the roof. Can they afford to pay the extra premiums on the insurance?
Or they just say, we're closing down, we're done.
They could close down. They could have to sack an employee. Somebody loses their fucking livelihood because of it.
Change hours.
It's a knock-on effect.
Yes.
Batman understands the knock-on, the domino effect.
If anybody understands it, Batman understands that.
Exactly. Parents die. Wealth. Child doesn't understand how to fucking comprehend this. Goes through recklessness as a kid. Age gets kicked out of Princeton because he's just so he spends 7 years fucking traveling, learning how to fight, learning how to solve crime, learning about the aspects of criminality. Comes back to Gotham, adopts. Doesn't even adopt immediately the Batman persona. Just goes out there in a balaclava trying to fight crime, realizes there's more to it. I'm not scaring people. You know, they're not scared of me. I don't understand. I'm buff. I can fight. You know? I'm hiding my face. Why aren't this? Because there's that other element. There's that fear.
Yeah.
Batman could have landed in the middle of that group of people. They would have fucking.
They probably just
would
have. Yeah, it would have been like, I'm out.
A fucking brick.
I'm fucking out.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He understands fear because he understands it from the perspective of a broken fucking child.
Yeah.
That saw his parents fucking blown away in front of him. Yeah, it's fear which gets him. It's not just fear of the victim, it's the fear of the perpetrator as well.
Yes. Yes. He would understand all of that, not just say, and look, and that's the thing I think that shows that this guy fundamentally doesn't understand Batman. Because we one of the main traits that we talk about with Batman it's always been like, yeah, man, he has a plan for the plan, right? And a contingency plan for the contingency plan. And it's like, okay, let's just assume that, because we don't even have to assume, we saw what happened. Even to this day, businesses are feeling and I'm not talking just with the COVID stuff, but just with the whole rioting, are feeling the impact of people going fucking crazy. You got businesses that went out of business permanently. And this includes big box ones, right? Where they said, okay, the crime increased so much. It's happened out there. I didn't think I covered a story maybe a month ago. Was it Nike even? So someone as rich as fucking Nike. I think it might have been Seattle. I can't remember where they were had like a headquarters of some sort. And they said, people stealing shit. We fear for our employees. We're getting the fuck out. Okay. So those employees got sacked. Obviously, that's less jobs. That's less affluency in that area. That's less commerce it is that you're having. So it has a way of impacting not just Nike. Maybe there's someone going to Nike and they saw a coffee shop that was nearby. Well, that business is fucking gone. It's just little stuff like that. It's a cause and effect type of situation. And if any character that is being handled in the DC universe would understand exactly that, it will be Batman. So it speaks to just
not the stupid fucking writer. They wanted to write something that his colleagues at work could go, oh my god,
yes,
you're so like fucking amazing. Oh, I love that reference that you just did. Odd.
That's who it was for.
Yeah,
he wrote that shit for his peers.
Exactly who it was for.
It's for his peers. It's the signal, like, hey, this is something that it's so on the nose that it's real life. I could have watched CNN and they would have said the same goddamn thing. I could have watched MSNBC. They would have said the same damn thing. Right? Hell, they sat up there and lied to us. That guy's got a fire burning behind him. Oh, it's just mostly peaceful.
Mostly peaceful as buildings behind me literally burn down. It's a mostly peaceful night here at Gotham City. In the wake of the Arkham breakout.
The place is on fire. Yeah, there's a fire. There's a fire quite literally right there. I'm not making that up, guys. There is a fire right there.
Yeah.
It's right there too. You can see it as he's leaving. It'll make it even worse. As Batman's leaving, the bitch is on fire.
I'm surprised. Maybe Batman threw a firebomb, at the business to really fucking put it out. Really make sure they didn't get, fuck that. It's got insurance, got fire insurance. Fuck him.
Yeah, let's make sure it goes burn. It burns all the way fucking down. So they can really make those claims.
Yeah.
Because I'm Gary Woodard, I understand Batman. It's one thing, Batman didn't see it. This man had the nerve to put Batman like looking at the shit. Like
CNN man.
CNN man. Like Batman stops and takes a gander, right?
Yeah.
Press for time, Batman, by the way.
Press for time.
Press for time, zip it. I'm gonna land. Look at all this crazy shit happening. I'm gonna soak it all in. Whoops, see you later.
If you put this page in front of me, right, and say,
Danny O'Neill.
What is this? Oh no. Let's just say, what is this? I'd be like, is this like an Elseworld story where this is a story about this
Antifa
Batman becoming like a villain in the end? and the
Joker
actual,
disguised as Batman.
The twist is that the police actually legitimately have to fucking start going after this guy because he's just like a full-on criminal. Is this the beginning of an Elseworld story? No. This is current continuity. Right. This is current continuity. Batman book. Yeah. Right. So that's not Bruce then. That's who's that? Oh no, that's Bruce. Fuck out of here. Okay, that's not no. Is that Jean Paul somehow? But even Jean Paul
he might be a little more. He'd probably be a little more violent.
Yeah. Who is? Oh, it's Hugo Strange. It's Hugo Strange, but he's got rid of the beard, and this is going to start being a Hugo Strange. No, that is Bruce Wayne as Batman. Okay. Jake Wayne.
Jake Wayne. That's what, as the insult to injury that gets me so much. Him just like sitting there looking at these motherfuckers go crazy.
Press for time.
Press for time. He did have enough time to. Oh, let me enjoy the view.
Yeah,
quick.
To
soak it.
Have a good old thinky. Yeah, it's a good old thinky poo about it.
Just go ponder. Just go look at what's taking place. Oh, I've seen all that I need to see. They got insurance. I'll see you later.
I had enough time to stop it, but whatever.
I had enough time to look at it.
I know how no sound.
I had enough time to look at it and soak it all in, but I didn't have enough time to
and give my CNN take.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and actually go through the thought process of they have insurance.
Yeah.
And then okay, I'll leave. I'll let y'all keep burning this motherfucker up. See, I got shit to do.
Deuces.
Other more pressing.
Yeah,
issues.
I got other pressing. I mean, the Joker only killed 3 people. I mean.
So I gotta go take care of that. Y'all got insurance. I'll take care. That, and because carrots dangling in an American dream or some shit. Fucking
yeah. Some guy just put all their fucking life into opening up their own business.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Fuck that fucking guy.
Fuck that bitch. I'm fucking Batman. Don't you know who I am? Got any idea who I fucking am, mate?
This is the modern day creatives, and this is why I believe that it may get worse before it gets better. Did you see that was a recent Wonder Woman
fisting? Tom King he's into fisting. No, I'm big serious. He's got a big old fisting fetish. He's either into or wants to get fisted by a dominatrix.
For me, I'm just interested in how, and I'm gonna look this up real quick. I think what should be studied, and I'm being dead ass serious. I'm not trying to be like an asshole here.
You don't have to be. They do it themselves.
True.
I'll find you the Tom King.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking for it. But the Tom King, I don't know where that shit's at. I'm trying to find it. But on a serious note, that should be studied, man. Like, I want to make it clear. I didn't start off like being like, God, fuck Tom King's on this thing. No, and I don't think most people did. Especially with the beginning of Batman Rebirth, right? We were all like, oh, he's okay. And then it went to shit. And he's pouting. Catwoman. And then you have like Heroes in Crisis, which some people would argue.
God, that is fucking the worst.
Maybe the worst thing that's ever happened, right?
I think it's one of the worst things I've written, worst things I've read in God knows how long.
As far as character assassination, yes. Absolutely. But you have that, and then he is that dialogue that happened with with Wonder Woman and Superman. There was what I was trying to find, because I didn't even remember if it was Tom King, but it was like basically she's, Superman's offering help, right? It's like, hey, this is a man. I wish I could find this, and I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I have to, just to show y'all, just panels that just don't really make sense. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it right now. Because it also speaks to, maybe it's not even simply about them not knowing who these characters are, but I think a lot of it has to do with I don't know, man. Maybe these guys are just going through some shit. It's this bit right here. Look, now again, I'm not look. Wonder Woman is a very capable man. I just don't like that they get these awesome artists, man, and they're like, the artist is wasted doing some shit. But no. So for context, what happened here? Again, it's not. I have no issues with Wonder Woman being able to stand on her own, right? I have zero issue there. But this is Superman. He says everyone in the country is turning against the whole government is tracking you, talking about Wonder Woman, that is. And then this Superman says, look, I can help. I like to. And she says, it's an Amazon problem and requires an Amazon solution. And then he's like, okay, sounds more like an American problem than anything. And then she says, my friend Clark, as ever you are right. He says, I do know better than you. And it's like, so Superman says, like, yeah, he's like, okay, look, all right, I'm gonna take your word for it. Basically, is what he's saying. It's like, okay, you're gonna know better than me about that. But for her to just explicitly be like, I do know better than you, is like kind of patronizing, right? The fuck. Now, like I said, it's my issue isn't that Wonder Woman doesn't stand on her own, or Wonder Woman doesn't deal with Amazon, the Amazonians and their problems. Like that's not the issue. I want to be clear there. Like I have zero fucking problem with that. Her as a character being able to do her own thing, but you know why she said that?
Because Clark's not sucking a dick.
Like, why the fuck would why would she say it is my question. It's like such a weird thing to, okay, we're having this moment. They're eating ice cream and shit. And she like, yeah, I know better than you. You right, motherfucker. I do know better than you. Like, the fuck that would Wonder Woman, maybe Injustice. I don't know, Wonder Woman, but would Wonder Woman say that? Maybe they have a different view of why she would. But she didn't have this panel could have been very impactful had she, and it would not have ruined anything regarding this page if that one bit wasn't there. But it is.
Of course it is.
And isn't Tom King collaborating with James Gunn? Is he in the writer's room?
He's in the writer's room.
Because I know he's doing their adapting of all versions of Supergirl. I think it's his rendition.
It's Tom Taylor, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure. I could be. I don't think.
No, Tom Taylor's one is the one that was in The Flash.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, that gets you stoked for DC and James Gunn and whatever he's gonna do.
Oh, good God, no.
I take it you're not stoked about. We already went through their lineup. We already know what's on the horizon, and it doesn't seem like it'll be it's gonna be that good. But Tom King's in the writer's room.
Yay.
I mean that gets me stoked. And by it gets me stoked, I mean it doesn't get me stoked. Oh man, modern media. It's not a rocket science, though. I am very thankful as a guy that's creating some things independently because it was their game to lose. I mean, when you have that large of a market share of an entire like industry, man, rippaverses should not exist.
What's impressive though is it is theirs to lose, and boy, are they trying so fucking hard to make sure that happens.
And that's
it's like a race to bankruptcy.
They're giving it a shot, that's for sure. Make no doubt about that, or no mistake about it. They're giving it a shot. Oh man, shout out Tom King.
Shout out Tim Sheridan.
Tim, we haven't shouted you out the entire show, Tim.
I know. I felt like he's probably a little bit upset about
I know. We're 2 hours in. My apologies.
Shout out Elton John.
Elton John, A Stigma. You gotta stop that shit.
Yeah,
though.
Stop it. Stop it. Shout out, but stop it.
Yeah, you gotta cut that shit out. But shout out nonetheless, man. We did not forget about you. We're 2 hours in, but we didn't forget about your giving you those shout outs. Sure. Okay. There's some good super chats that I know have come in, and I'm gonna make sure that I go through these as we usually do when we're 2 hours into the show already.
Of course.
And we finally start to get input from the people that watch this and make this happen. Stephen De Leon with a 5 says, hello from West Texas. Shout out West Texas. Just got through warming up my tea in the microwave. Now adding the powdered milk just the way Ass likes it. Says,
fucking mods, can you ban him? Ban him ban him right now.
They want him out.
Ban him.
Shout out Steven.
I'm a mod, I'll do it myself.
Oh yeah, you can do it actually. Adonis with a 20 Canadian says Capcom used drag queens to advertise one of their games. What? Exoprimal to kids. It's a special.
What?
I gotta look it up.
In all fairness, a drag queen is a modded man.
Oh, this happened. This happened a year ago. Why did I miss this story? I don't want to show y'all this shit, man. It's that actually happened. Capcom Japan grants these VTubers early access to promote Exoprimal. And Capcom USA hosted a drag stream to advertise the game's open beta. Yeah, I'm looking at it, and that happened. What the fuck? It's on, and it was on Capcom USA's stream. How did I miss this story?
Can you fire Jordan from the Rippaverse, please?
I got you. She microwaves tea. I know.
Yeah.
Why did I not hear about this? I mean, I'm gonna show it just for Ass. That actually happened. There's a screenshot actually here. It is from Capcom USA.
Mm-hmm. And nice rack.
So they used a VTuber on like the Japanese stuff, but on the Capcom USA, you got drag queens.
They got men dressed as women. Gotcha.
That's an interesting take there.
Can you file the Sausage Sisters as well, please?
This is my first time. Why did I miss this story? That's interesting to say the least. Interesting.
Sure. Interesting way not to get customers in.
How do you like just have to not know your audience for something like that to do that? Or something like that to happen?
It's the West, dude. It's the West. Of course they don't fucking know. Well, they do know. They don't like it. No, We are sick and tired of making sure that our business thrives because we make stuff for the 99%. We are fully committed to getting rid of that and pandering to the 1%. Bigots. That's ice cold. That's just like unmicrowaved. I want you to fire them. And I don't want any severance. No severance pay.
No nothing.
No severance. Nothing. Not a fucking penny. I don't see anything from Yaira because they were fired during the campaign. No bonus. Nothing. Gone.
Oh my God. What in the fuck is going on in the world? Adonis, appreciate that. I didn't know about that. He says it's especially hypocritical in light of the fact that Capcom thinks mods for their games to be offensive to public order and morals. That's interesting. Volunteers Hero with a 5 says, congrats. How do you learn from Chuck Dixon and Mike Barron? Do you give them your stories for feedback or learn by reading their stories, or both? It's a little bit of both, particularly more Chuck than anything, because Chuck's like he's already got like a few scripts in his belt, under his belt. So and he's been kind of instrumental to the growth of the company like early on. Mike is still obviously has some other stuff that he's going to be doing with us in the future as well. Actually, I have a script to go through this week, something that he sent. But I've had the opportunity more than anything to especially collaborate with Chuck more. So a lot of what I've picked up is, yeah, you have that latter aspect or both, but I've got direct feedback from concepts that I've had with from Chuck, and it's been very, very informative and helpful for my growth as a creative. So it for Chuck, it's both. CJ with a 5 says, hell ripper, hell ass. I think Acolytes can be your next Batwoman. So one of those that you make millions of dollars.
I'm definitely going to watch it and make money.
So you at least have that. Probably get more viewership than the show will. Transformers fan with the 5 says, first off, sorry about what is going on with the attacks on me. Oh, I don't trip, man. That's to be expected. And second, you should get Peter Cullen in the next Rippaverse animation to get him Optimus to do something with us would be awesome.
Oof. If
he's available. Game. Josh Kelsey with a 20. No message. Appreciate that. Shout out. We have Vimarain with a 20 says, hello, Ripper and Silverback over the last few streams, including F&T. Some of your anti-fans unironically compared and criticized your Yaira trailer to DC and Marvel Studios trailer. No sarcasm. Congrats, you're in the big leagues now. You're saying some of our fans.
No.
I get some of the anti-fans.
Some of your detractors.
Compare.
They've been doing this for ages now.
To DC and Marvel. Yeah. Okay.
I don't understand how much of a compliment that is.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the comparisons to like the Batmans of the world that people, Spawn did this. I'm like, okay,
cool.
Is that the class that I'm in now? Bet. It works. That works for me. That works for me. I'm in the big leagues now, I guess so. It does show the level of growth and the level of anticipation.
Yeah.
That a lot of people have for our work. I'm game with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I said it when it dropped. Y'all could approach it in whatever way that you will. Whether you like it, whether you dislike, and that goes for the books too. But yeah, you probably should be aware of these kind of. They probably say it as a snide comment, but I find that to be an honor. It's like when someone's like, "Hey, the Yaira trailer is comparable to CW," and I'm like, oh, "Okay." I'm not Hollywood connected, and I'm at least competing with guys that are connected to billion-dollar companies. I'm game with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Like that doesn't bother me at all. It is a compliment.
Your new company is not even 2 years old. It's just releasing its 4th book. compiled a live action trailer so people could see what the characters would kind of look like, gave them a little bit of flavor for a pre-order campaign. It's just made over 1.2 million in a week. Loser.
I'm game with that. I'm game with that. That works for me. If I had the CW's budget, I can maybe even take it to the next level. So, shout out. Still like a history with a 20 months says, so proud of you all. Be blessed. I can't wait for Yaira and all the ones you have coming after Yaira. Yes, we have a big slate. I have not talked about that during the show, but yes, we have announced several things. You saw Horseman art. You know that Bloodruth is now coming with the Sasuke's our first horror book. Man, I'm excited. Can't wait to get my niece her B-Day gift. 13 now. Shout out, man. I appreciate that. And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this Yaira book for sure. Aiken with a 7 Australian says, could Lucas be wanting to assist Disney's demise by backing Iger because they screwed his Star Wars? I don't think it's that intricate. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's most probably stock price related. That's all.
Yeah. Big Bone with a 10 says, congrats on being directly over the target. You know your aim is true when people who imagine racists everywhere and people who hallucinate SJWs everywhere are both. Yeah, that's a good point. There's a share of hallucination happening on people on different sides of the political aisle. It's funny. Yesterday, it was like you had one it was in the same fucking thread where it was like one is like, hey, what we're doing is woke, and the other was saying that I was a bigot. I was a bigot, and like I'm doing things that are like anti-progressive and shit. And I was like, this shit was in the same thread. It was amazing because, for example, shout out Jimmy Palmiotti. Him and I will be streaming together later today, tonight. And you know, Jimmy, respected in the industry. His is same thing. His thread is full of, how could you stream with this fucking right wing bigot? You know, other side is like
right wing Trump support.
Yeah, he's just such a progressive. He's anti-progressive and all this shit. And then on the other side, it's like he's woke. He's done stories based on women, and I'm like, what in the fuck? Y'all need to make up y'all's mind. What are we?
I know what they are. I know what they are. I got called an SJW.
Yeah,
last week. I was like, how dare you? I am racist and bigoted and homophobic. How dare you call me SJW?
Oh man, they need to make their mind up, man.
Oh, I know who they are. I know exactly what you are.
Exactly.
Coochie coo.
Shout out Big Ball. We got a Solid Gold CEO with a 2 says, I'm sure that a new audience will be along any minute now. It's
yeah. Any moment now. Like buses. Maybe 2 will come at once.
We have I can't pronounce that. Canadian with a can you pronounce that?
Pieto.
Yeah. With a 7, Canadian says, my company paid 300 of us to see TFA and half of that to TLJ. They did not bother with Rise of Skywalker. Damn. That's rough. Graph Webb says, for fuck's sake, cancel Disney Plus as it always comes by and reminds us. Appreciate you. Avery, my man, Avery became a member. Weren't you already a member? Anthony draws cartoons with a 5. So I missed the 70s Muppet Show when all the characters were pink and purple and orange and race didn't exist. And Elmo wasn't talking about. Yes, I can imagine those were the days.
Fucking Gonzo wasn't talking about being non-fucking binary. Shut up! Shut up.
General Kyle X on the 5 says marching orders of creative members of the intersectional Wokology subvert, supplant, and suppress until they reign supreme.
Suppressing profits.
Yeah. Shout out. DB with a 2 says, Eric, will you please stop failing? For you both. Thank you. Yes. On my $4 million failure in a row. I was supposed to be bankrupt by actually the beginning of maybe last year. Still here. Craig Morner with a 10 says Black Widow is what they call my wife when I'm worm food.
Oh,
tough. Defendo 99 with a 20 says there is one perfect 1x1 depiction of a comic book character on screen, says Yaira. Well, we did do our best to capture the essence of who she was. For sure. We got an actress that fucking looked like her as much as we realistically could. Having her a 6'3" blonde athletic chicks don't just fall out the sky. But we did find the one that was around, and we got it. We did get I think we got the costume, everything right. It was fun. That whole process was fun. Green lighting that, of course, Jen and Sylvia facilitated much of that, and shout out to them. And yeah, I think we nailed it. Morgan is Yaira as far as I'm concerned. No doubt about that. So yeah, we tried. We tried to do the best we could. I think another real good one was Altona. I think Kia played a great.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah,
and I loved her in the behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, yeah, she couldn't contain her excitement.
She looks like a ton of fun. The shit
she was. I got to talk with Kia after. She's, as far as I'm concerned, if we do some more stuff, she is absolutely my Altona. But getting to talk with her, she was so supportive of everything that we've done, that we were doing, and yeah, I really thought that she nailed Altona. I really do. I really think she did a great job of about who Altona was. So shout out to her, for sure. She was awesome. Magnum North with a 20 says, as a man who's worked too long for giant corporations, middle management is the worst. They only create problem, says Magnum North. Yeah, I can see that. 1000%. I can see that. Appreciate that 20, because that was 3 20s in the back to back right there. Sheep City with a 20 says, did you guys see what the original Crow director said about the new movie? If you Google it, stay away from Variety. It's an ad wasteland. Either way, I love that he vouches for the fans and the legacy. I didn't see that. No.
Oh, I think they were very critical of this new version.
Crow for modern audiences.
Yeah. Soy Crow.
Yeah. Darby Allin. No, Darby Allin would have been a much better Crow, actually.
Yeah. Crow gets his first period.
Yeah. Oh man. Chief City. Appreciate that. Any plans to collaborate with Max? Russell. I don't think that's
it'd be catastrophic.
Yeah, it would be catastrophic for my company, for sure. To bring her on, because she for sure is gonna be bragging about how she turned someone trans. And it's probably fucking ice or something like that. Like that would be her bragging. That would be the Mag special. Ice for some reason, and he was trans all along.
So was Brian. So was Braxwell.
Yeah, so everybody's fucking whole fucking Alpha Core is goddamn trans. If Mags had anything to fucking do with it. And she would be gaslighting us, saying that they were trans all along. Because look how Braxwell dresses. He got his visor, and somehow that is an allegory for trans.
Dude, that is, you might as well just stamp it on him right now.
Oh fuck.
That is a green flag right there.
Oh man, yeah. Don't see Mags Bill Withers said he dropped so. Magnum Norse with a 10 says it's simple. Stop giving money to people who hate you. Oh, I mean, I feel you on that. I feel you. Captain Clean with a 5 says, look at the logo on the TV box. It's Wayne. This Batman is committing insurance. That's a good point because they were holding up a Wayne Enterprises TV. And it says
it was still plugged in, I guess.
Says it's committed insurance fraud. Yeah, that's funny. Crit Nature with a 5 said, be yourself. Give your free will a chance. You've got to want to succeed. Hope you get that song reference. Guys, it's more relevant than ever today. I feel you on that, Crit Nature. I appreciate that. That's a second, I think, CHF that we've got.
Swiss francs.
So we got two Swiss francs today, as far as the super chats are concerned. Defendo 99 with a 5 says, we Americans don't have to care what Brits think about how we prepare our teeth. We're lucky. You said you're lucky. We don't just throw it in the harbor again, he says.
You can throw it, you can fucking do what you want. You get him out of here.
Joking Lee with a 15 months says, stop microwave tea hate.
Get him.
As is banning.
All I'm saying is you're fucking lucky it's not on my channel this week because I've been making a note of where all of you fuckers live. All of you.
She said here with a 10 said Dragon's Dogmas 2 is gonna gonna go harder than the first one. That may be the game that brings me out of gaming, streaming, retirement.
How has Helldivers 2 not done that?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying I need to be on that streaming too. So
after this, I'm gonna be playing it with fucking Drinker, mate.
Oh shit,
yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah,
that's big league. I got high hopes for the sequel to my favorite game of all time. Also, as I gotta add you on Steam, I want to give you my pawn for your game. Shout out, Sheep. Got Avery Park with 7 months says, hear me out. Official Silverback and Ripper intro needed. I'm not against that. That's something probably a Jordan and I could whip up. In earnest to both of you, the Rippaverse family on a whole, the energy is infectious. I'm not against that. I can actually probably get moving on something like that. That's not an impossible thing, or that's not a bad idea either. Paul Height with a 10 says your business disrupts the SJW anti-SJW cycle. They prosper from each other and can't get clout with people like you and fall. Let's speak on that because that's the last super chat we got. Let's speak on that because it's a good point. It's like, I think what you have, and as from an outside perspective, you can probably give me some perspective for sure on that, because I think it's a product of people not listening to jack shit I've ever said. Because I think there were people that were assuming that I was going to build this fucking quote unquote right wing comic company.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that though?
Why would I do that? I have no idea. But it seems like that's what people
we're gonna split our audience by splitting our audience, potential audience. How does that fucking work? That's why I get a fucking. I've got no interest in like the Daily Wire and all that fucking shite.
Yeah,
I don't think it's an answer to any issue. I think it's just a reaction to reaction.
Yeah.
So no. I look. You don't care. I don't care who watches me if you're left or right. I don't care.
Yeah.
Or if you're a good person, that's what I care about. You know, if you're a decent human being. I don't agree with my mum on fucking most things, for fuck's sake. What is this bizarre, you have to fucking agree with everything? It's collectivism shite.
Yeah.
Just collectivism shite, and it's as rampant on the right as it is on the fucking left.
And we found that out, obviously, that it is just as rampant, which is unfortunate because you get a lot of the same cancel pig shit, right? We've seen what, unfortunately, some people have done with even like with the Saskas, right? And it's of no fault of their own, right? It's all like, hey, they're trying to get at me in the company. So let's say that they're because of a fucking 20-year-old film, or because of a tweet that they're Rippaverse is gone woke.
Yeah.
And it's like, were y'all under the impression that let's assume, even though Sasuke's are not right, we I mean, you've had them on. We rag on fucking SJWs all the fucking time with them, right?
Well,
But
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know which way they vote.
it does it matter?
I don't care.
That's what I'm about to
which way they
say.
vote. What I care about is the interactions that we've had. I've had
Yeah.
them on the Rip and the Silverback. We've had them on FNT. We've had them on the real BBC.
Mhm.
I've done a stream with them, mono e double, where we just talked about gaming and pop culture and just things that we like. That's what I like to base my my own kind of opinion on people about, is what are they like as human beings.
Yeah.
You know, I stream with Robert Meyer Burnett, ton of times. Robert is a wonderful, wonderful guy. Likes to call himself a classic liberal. Who cares? I don't care about Robert's politics. I care about what Robert's like as a human being, and he's a fucking wonderful human being.
Right.
You know, there's people who'd be more pushed on the right hand side. I think Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers would say he was more right.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome chap. Fucking wonderful guy, fun guy to stream with, just a good guy in general. The content of his character is what defines him. Dan Vask, homosexual. I don't care. I don't care what he does in his free time in the bedroom. He's still a great guy with a tremendous singing voice, and we love him. No, we know the root of all this bullshit.
Yeah,
we know the root. It's all it's just envy and jealousy and desperation for clout and desperation for content, and it is desperate, and it is really fucking desperate.
Yeah.
He's clearly had such a massive effect on everything.
What's it?
1.25 million?
Yeah, true.
After 8 days. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, bro, my goal with this company, and really what we've discussed this with modern entertainment, right? The issue with modern entertainment, at least from my perspective and what I've been talking about, it wasn't simply about like, okay, there was a leftist that was doing material, right? That wasn't the argument. I mean, maybe other people made it, but I never made that fucking argument. And I talked about, number one, the lack of balance, right? And I talk about the fact that these people feel like they have to make these characters that they didn't create about themselves, right? And their individual that's a problem, right? But if Chuck Dixon and Danny O'Neill can get along like no one's fucking business, right? Despite them being on quite literally the opposite end of the political spectrum, right? That's more or less what it is that we're trying to build here. Because first of all, I'm a fucking anarcho-capitalist, right? If I only hired based on that, I have to find the other three that exist, number one. And then I have to make sure that they have the skill set to do what I need them to do as a business. It'd be a very lonely place, right? Here. But no, that's not the type of business that we're building here. It's like, okay, everybody has their individual views. I don't care. Leave it as long as it doesn't get in the way of business. As long as you're not doing something like this, like fucking criminal, right? If you can leave your positions at the door, right? Not chasing away customers and shit. You can leave that shit at the door. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you punch in, if you punch some shit at all, right? Me and Jeremy talk about that. He's a Trump guy. I'm fucking not. It would get along fine, right? It's okay. Hell, I go on a network on a weekly basis. Have a lot of guys over there that's pro-Trump, obviously, at Blaze. Somehow, we're able to be friends. I could go there. I could fucking grill their guy on a show for 45 fucking minutes. On something that's dedicated for politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all good. And we had a rippaverse here that has nothing to do with that. That's not what I'm not trying to build this fucking echo chamber of fucking one perspective, right? And I think that's where a lot of the frustration came. And I hate to, kind of continue on with this, but I think a lot of frustration came with the rippaverse is like to your point, it didn't work. Right? It was like, okay, we want to try to take this down. It comes from leftists, it comes from people on the other side or whatever, and it's like it's ineffective in the grand scheme of things. And I think that's more or less what all of this shit is about. I don't think these guys give a fuck about obviously the Saskas or give a fuck about me even for that me. They don't give a fuck about none of that. It has nothing to do with any of this shit.
No,
it has nothing to do with it. This is something else. But yeah, there's council pigs to the right and there's council pigs to the left. They exist. And look, look no further than the rippaverse if you want to see that. Like I said, it was funny looking at the same thread yesterday and me getting called a wokey and then a fucking bigot, right-wing bigot on the other one. That's impressive. Very, very impressive. So shout out. And yes, me and Jimmy Palmiotti on different sides of the political spectrum, and somehow we can get along. Amazing.
Crazy, huh?
Crazy how that works, though. And I think that was how what we're doing there is not reinventing the wheel. That used to be how this world operated. Yeah. And how largely
this is probably the least most interesting piece about a person.
Yeah.
It's somewhere you tick a box once every 4 or 5 years, depending on where you fucking live. But for the most part, after that, you just get on with fucking real life.
Yeah.
Now it's the driving force behind every fucking retard.
Yeah. And by the way, shout out to Sasha.
Tim Sheridan.
Oh, well, yeah. Shout out Tim Sheridan, obviously. Dedicate the show to Tim Sheridan. But shout out to Saskas for like introducing me to Jimmy. Right? It's been awesome. It's been fucking awesome. And shout out. And like it's not like I have to waver with my individual position. My positions are my positions, but I'm running a fucking entertainment company, right? And that's my number one goal. We got DB with a 2 says Aerith over Tifa.
Whatever, gay.
We got Nimpo with a 10 says I guess this Dragon Dogma's 2 character creators a huge red flag. Don't believe the height. The only female options are body dysmorphia and a literal man with boobs. I know they had that for like early access or whatever. You can go in there and I haven't done that yet, so I can't even speak it.
I had a look last night.
I can't speak to it.
No, okay. You can really break down a character. You can break down a character big time. I am legitimately thinking tomorrow of maybe just streaming creating a character.
Okay.
Because you can do so much. I might just do that. Create it for Friday and then tell Gary I'm not watching Ghostbusters.
Not looking forward to that.
I don't mind, but I'd rather stream Dragon's Dogma on Friday than take a trip out and
I can respect that.
Yeah. Watch a film that's probably going to be it's all right. Maybe not.
I can respect that. I can respect that. Okay, I think that yes, that was actually the last one. As what else you got? I mean, you mentioned FNT. What do y'all have on this week?
Well, in half an hour, I'm going to be streaming Helldivers 2 with Drinker. Kara's going to be there. Mauler's not. Mauler can't make it, which is a shame. But we might be getting a fourth in as well. And then tomorrow, like I said, I did do a little bit of Alone in the Dark stream today, 2 hours. Anyway, Friday Night Tights on Friday. Dragon's Dogma 2, probably Friday. Saturday, maybe something during the day. But I'm busy in the evening. Sunday, afternoon tea without Super Chat Square Up. And Sunday, Fun Day held up. Boom.
There you go. For myself, I will be streaming today with tonight with Jimmy Palmiotti on that Pop XP deal. So go check that out. That's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people on both sides of the political aisle shouting at us because we're cool with each other. What else do I have? I think that's it as far as streams. I'm not actually probably missing something, but I'll think about it maybe some other time and I'll let you guys know. I probably will end up finessing the stream. I do want to do Dragon's Dogma. People know that, so I'm trying to figure that out. We'll see. But other than that, it's all rippaverse, me working. I got some stuff I need to write. I got a million things to do. So I want to be prepared to do that, or preparing for all of those assets that need to get submitted to various people, printers, and all sorts of shit. So I'm going to be working. But I appreciate all the support for Yaira. Go to the rippaverse.com. Go to rippaverse.com/Yaira if you want to get in on a campaign and you have not already. For just $25, you can get in on that cover D, that mass print cover. So yeah, other than that, that's all I got. Appreciate you as always. Next week we will be on Az's channel, 1:30 Central, as we always do. But this was fun. We had a blast. We got to talk Acolytes, which everybody's stoked for. And hope we all are all stoked for it as well. So appreciate y'all joining us, but we got to bounce. We got to go. Until next time, though, y'all be easy. Peace out.
Bye.